Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum has not really done or made any significant movements since yesterday's video. So really just sideways price action. It pushed a little bit higher, reacted to our micro support area that I gave you yesterday. But still, I'm not convinced that this is a 5-wave move up also, and that is much more significant. We are still caught in the descending price channel, but very important, we reversed in this support area and in the smaller one I shared with you yesterday. So when we talk about Fibonacci support levels, they have been respected, but it doesn't really at the moment, the chart doesn't give me any significant clarity on, let's say micro patterns or anything significant. This is just up and down, choppy sideways action, and there is currently no clear uptrend that has started. Well, here maybe, but we talked about that yesterday, so let's dive in. Before we go into the microstructure, here, this is the movement from the 13th of April low. As you know, I'm tracking this as a potential diagonal pattern to the upside in 5 waves. This is only the short-term update here. As long as we're holding, and we can keep it very simple, as long as we're holding the $3,208 level, which is the golden ratio level, the 61.8 retracement of the third wave to the upside, I'm leaning towards the yellow count slightly. That means I give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, and I'm watching if the 5th wave to the upside to, let's say, first of all, to test the March highs here is valid and relevant and yeah, can actually play out. Okay, so that's against $3,208. So I want to get the price to the March highs at least, eventually higher. However, first of all, the market would need to prove to me that the wave 4 here has bottomed, which I'm not yet convinced. We're still in choppy sideways action. Yeah, so this is a corrective pullback, you could say. Again, very, very extended, very protracted, not too deep to be reliable. But in terms of time, this wave 4 has taken, I think, probably twice as long as this wave 2, maybe even more than that. So that's the support area that really, or the level that really matters. Above that, I've got 3,337, which is also a key level that matters. So this is a support zone for this wave 4. Okay, what happens below 3,208? Well, the additional or the lower support area is already on the chart. The levels that matter are defined between 2,668 and 2,896. And then there will be additional support, most likely around these previous swing lows. So let's say around 2,700, 2,800. But for now, the trend is still up from the 13th of April low. But below the Fibonacci zone, things will look more like the white count, in which we just never finished this 4th wave, which here is labeled as potentially finished on the 13th of April. But again, that's not very clear because we're only dealing with, unfortunately, diagonal patterns. It's frustrating price action. Still though, I'm watching a few trend lines here, and we're watching the Fib levels and a few potential, yeah, let's call it breakout points. So let's go to the 30-minute chart. And from an Elliott wave point of view, as I said, you know, the correction could be technically finished. It could be technically finished. There is a wave count where we can say, okay, the wave 4 bottomed here, but I need to see more evidence. This is now just zoomed in. At the moment, I would not be surprised if we see another low. That is also in line with the Bitcoin count. And I will tell you where the price could turn around and what the key levels are to watch. So that means, in summary, the low could be in. I'm not very convinced yet, and it would require the break above a few levels to make that more likely that the low is in. And it requires the right structure. So to keep it very simple, I've got a few trend lines on the chart. I've got here this price channel, a parallel price channel. We call it corrective price channel on the chart. As long as the price is still moving in this price channel, you could see all of this as noise. Now, the volatility is quite high. So these are huge swings in that price channel. And it's not the most reliable one either. But we've had a reaction to the Fibonacci support zone. Quite a bit of a bounce. We're now sort of in the middle of the channel, so it doesn't give us a great edge when we look at the channel. That means, okay, is there an additional trend line we could draw maybe? So we had a breakout from this one. This was our initial signal that we could at least temporarily move to the next resistance level here. So that I take that off the chart now. We don't need that anymore. Can we identify another trend line? I don't think we can. This one is broken. So no. There's nothing really reliable there. I mean, we broke above, if you want to call that a trend line. It's obviously broken, but that's my point. So we have one touch point here. That was on the 5th of June. One touch point here on the 16th of June. And then you could say, okay, we had one more here on the 19th of June. And we now broke above it, trying to retest just now. I was trying to retest it just now. Just an observation, we had a breakout from a trend line. So now the market, however, needs to turn around. And if we can break above yesterday's high, or it's actually today's high, at 3,614, well, it might continue the journey higher from a trend line point of view. This also, the green line indicates a key, let's say, resistance level. Yeah, broken, but not convinced that it's sustaining above it. So these are key levels to watch. And above that, we've got the 3,655 level, or 50, 53, 54. It's where we have previous swing highs. They could be quite meaningful as well to generate additional resistance. So there's an area of resistance here. If I add the VRVP to the chart, you can see that there's also a spike. So just above this level, it would probably be a bit difficult for the price to get through. So now to the Elliott wave pattern. Looking at the Elliott wave chart or pattern, this is just a 3-wave move up to me. So we have an A wave up, we have a B wave down, and this is a C wave in 5 waves. Yeah, even that might get a few squiggles, but it's not 5 waves yet. For 5 waves, I would need another 4-5 pattern. Let me just double check that. So if I add, so we could say, okay, let's add 1, 2. All of this would be 3, 4, 5. I need another 4, 5. And this is, let's say, hopium, or it requires proving until we get the 5 waves. And if we have the 5 waves, I can add the next support area for you. Now, it doesn't mean we have to get 5 waves. There's no need for the market to develop 5 waves. Yeah, so even if we've bottomed, we don't need the 5 waves. Quick reminder that the move up, this entire move from the 13th of April low is a diagonal pattern. So that means saying, okay, I have to see 5 waves or it can't go up further. That's not the case. It can always go up further. It's just not reliable if it's only a 3-wave move. But to get 5 waves, I can give you a micro support. So that would be the next micro support, 3,490 to 3,550. But just a quick reminder, we don't need to see the 5 waves. It's possible that it just formed 3 waves, you know, retraces, forms a higher low, and then still goes. But then we don't really have an edge from an Elliott wave point of view. You might use trend lines or zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture and use the lower support area. But yeah, that's sort of how I see that. Key level in terms of invalidation point, I mean, that's the Tuesday low, yeah, at 3,353. So for the assumption that a low could have formed, the price must not break below that level again. But ideally, it doesn't break below 3,490. But it can. So it's not, you know, looking at the micro patterns, we don't always have reliable structures. But I find the trend line quite important. I find that micro support area interesting to watch. And then the upside breakout point is especially here around 3,652. So that's the update about Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.